Yes, yes, yes. UNA. Yeah. TikTok. YouTube. Diva is in the house. Diva Laree is in the house. Yeah. Ready to do this? Are we ready to do this? I'm yours truly, Diva Laree, with the UNA Republic and UNA University. I want to welcome everybody. Welcome all my people in YouTube, all my people in TikTok. Ephraim, Halo, one of my students. Thank you for being such a lovely, lovely student. Let's see. Nadine, user. Who else is in the house? Got quite a few people coming into the house. Thank you, Ephraim. Oh, 5, 6. You're trying to get me to buy you dinner. I know that's what you're trying to do. I will buy you dinner. Uh, YouTube, how y'all doing? How you doing? Thomas Reed, thank you for joining. Kay, Vaughn, Trail. All right, so what are we talking about today? You see the topic. The topic is the real meaning of HBCU. The real meaning of HBCU. All right, so we're in the midst of this thing now. And I'm going to go through some things that we've already talked about. But I'm on this because, there's this big uproar with respect to HBCUs now. And this is not about pooping on anybody. What I need to do is give you some information on what's really going on so that we can start to clean up the mess. We need to, first of all, understand the underlying issue, which is what a lot of people don't recognize. All right. There's so many things going on here, and it all goes down to the basic issue of understanding law. All right. That's the only way we're going to clean this mess up. You keep rioting, you can picket, you can put out your whatever we're going to sign the petitions. If you don't know law, you're not going to get this situation remedied. And I'm just gonna go into what HBCU is, because I won't go into how you actually do it. You're gonna have to pay me for that. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for that, because I'm gonna let you know there ain't a lawyer that's gonna do what we do with the UNA. There ain't one. There ain't a lawyer. There ain't a judge that can do it, and most of them don't even know how to do it. But what I do want to get into is you understanding what HBCU really means. What does it mean? What is really going on behind the scenes? Because y'all have this idea that these are melanated people, and y'all better take notes. Like I said, when y'all see me talking, you want to have a pen and paper and be ready to take notes, for the simple fact, and I'm going to let you know, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down so deep. This is the kind of stuff that gets uh, uh, different groups like mine shut down. The kind of information I'm here to share right now, this is what gets people's pages shut down. So take a note, just in case you don't get to hear this again. Just in case they decide they want to remove this, y'all better take notes and pay attention, because I'm going to break it down. All right. What is the real meaning of HBCU? I want to say thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. YouTube, subscribe. Subscribe. TikTok, I want y'all to follow me. We're going to do this thing. All right. What is the real meaning of HBCU? All right. So I've talked to you all in the past about being cognizant of taking on titles. And let us remember that the term Black, Negro, colored, minority, African American, they are all titles. They are copyrighted titles with that. And if you're taking on those titles, you are putting yourself under a contract, a federal contract. And WI says, we can fix it, huh? Listen, I don't like to talk about things. Thank you, WI, for the question. WI says, we can fix it, huh? I don't like to talk about things unless there is a remedy. If I'm coming on here talking and speaking to you, please note there is a remedy. The question is, are we ready to move forward and get the remedy? Because there is a remedy. Because I know law. If I don't know nothing else, I know how to fix this situation. But you got to be those who are willing, those who call themselves the victims, they got to be willing to move forward. If they're not, then okay, forget about it. And I'll talk to you all about that before I get out of here if I have time before my meeting. Uh, John Jack, thank you for joining. Uh, Lord Abraca, thank you for joining. All right, so let me go into this thing. And thank you all, in YouTube for joining, and thank you for your comments. Put your comments in there. I'm going to get to them. I will. All right, so let's get into this thing. Again, titles. HBCU. What does it mean? Historically, Black colleges and universities or universities. All right, historically, Black. First of all, there's that title, Black, in there. For those of y'all who are not aware, let me make it clear to you. Black means dead. Why do these titles even come up in the first place? All right, let's recognize this. All of this starts on a federal level. On a federal level, we as the people are provided for already. There are funds that have been stolen from us. The federal government is making sure that there are certain things put into place for the people because they were stolen from, especially when you talk about your copper-colored people. They are the original people of the land, the vast majority of them. Some of them came from another land, but the vast majority of the people in the Americas are indigenous to the Americans when we talk about your brown people. All right. And so there are funds put into place, and really anybody who has a social security number, there are funds put into place for you. Now, this is done by the federal government. And you know what, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go into it. This is done by the federal government, and the federal government puts funds into play, and there is a corporation that is the trustee of those funds. That corporation is known as the United States Corporation, not the United States of America. And so I need to put this up because somebody is going to get confused. So let me make it clear as we go into this. All right. I want to go into this information so that we make sure that you all are clear on what's going on. Now, remember I talked to you all about the difference between the United States of America. This is what you're looking at now. Oh, I'm sorry. My people in TikTok are like, what is she talking about? Hold on, TikTok. Let me flip the screen here so that I can make sure you all can see this. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and flip the rig. And then my people in TikTok are going to be able to see me. Hold on, TikTok. You know I love y'all TikTok people. So I want you all to be able to see what I'm talking about and make sure that we are all on the same page. All right. So give me a second. I learned how to do this. I actually learned how to flip my screen. Now I got to figure out where it is. All right. Let's see. All right, that's not it. I'm going to get it. Give me 1 second. So right now, what we're looking at, what? Okay, 1 second. Yeah. I learned how to do this. I did it before. Hold on. All right. Live intro. I'm flipping my screen right now because I want my people in TikTok to be able to see this, and they are going to be able to see it because I've learned how to do this. I just got to get back to it. Let me try this once more. Let's see, comments, settings, moderate, ranking, muted accounts, blocked accounts. All right. That wasn't it. One second. I'm gonna get it. Support, pause, and live. Um, if anybody in my room here knows how to flip the rig, say something. Say something so I can get it up here and make sure you all can see it because I am not finding it. Pause live, live settings. Nope, that's not what I want. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where is it? Okay. Live intro. Okay, I'm not finding my. Okay. I know I've done this before. Now I'm like deer in the headlights now. Okay. I might not, y'all people in TikTok, y'all might not be able to see. Y'all write it in the comments if, y'all write it in the comments if you all know how to flip this rig, so I can show you all what I'm looking at. Because I'm about to let it go if I can't figure it out. Comment settings, moderators, rankings, mute accounts, blocked accounts, gift limit. No, why is it not showing it? Unbelievable. All right. Well, I won't be able to show you guys. Anybody in the comment section, you know how to flip the camera? I've done it before. I just can't figure it out right now. Um, oh, this takes so much time when I could have been just doing what I need to do. All right. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute. There we go. Thank you. Why is it hidden? All right, one second. There it is. All right, so my people in YouTube, thank you for your patience because I got to get my folks in. All right, so now you all should be able to see what we're looking at now. All right, so here we go. I talked to you all about in the past about the difference between the United States of America. All of this is the United States. Notice these states, all right? And I'm gonna I'm gonna zoom in and I want you all to notice the names, all right? You see the full names: Wyoming, Nebraska, Kansas rather, Oklahoma, Texas. All of these are the full names. These are representative of the United States of America. You don't see any abbreviations. Versus here, if I can get mine, let me see if it's gonna move for me today. All right, I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is the United States. Well, Diva, what's the difference? What's the difference? They look the same. They the same, Diva. No, they're not the same. And let's understand why they're not the same. I need to go back to here. Now, when you're looking at the United States, again, for those of y'all who really want to know what's going on and you really want to understand why why the HBCUs get treated differently, pay attention because I'm going to tell you. All right. So take a look at this. When we're talking about United States Corporation, this is an organization that is owned by Britain, run by Britain. This is the democracy right here. Whereas over here, this is the republic. I don't want to go deep into this. Jeffology, Halo, thank you for joining. Tez, thank you for joining. So what I want y'all to recognize here, over here, this is the republic. Why are we wanting to be in the republic? Because this is where our God-given rights are protected. Over here, this is owned by Britain. These people have no allegiance to the United States of America or anything in the Americas at all. They have no allegiance. This is owned by Britain. And so they created this United States corporation for the purpose of stealing the authority from these people here, the true republic. This is where the federal government resides, in the true republic. You see these names where they're spelled out: New York, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts. Over here, you see abbreviations. Anytime you see these abbreviations, you're using the copyrighted territory of these people from Britain. All right, Diva, but why is that important? Okay, what's the big deal? So what? Okay, what's the big deal? All right, let's get into it. Let's understand why this is a big deal. Now, these people here, whenever there are funds, they are the trustee of the funds of all of the people of this republic territory right here. These people are holding the funds of all of the people of this territory that was given to them by the federal government of the republic. I hope y'all paying attention. I told y'all, when y'all see me, make sure you have a pen and paper, because we get ready to learn some things today. But these people here, the federal government has given the people, we the people, funds. And these people have come in as trustees. Now, there are laws that these people have to abide by. So when your mother has signed the birth certificate, they sell it. These people right here sell that birth certificate, and those funds are supposed to be meant for the people. But the people are clueless about those funds. But these people know full well. I'm getting to the point. Y'all pay attention now. I'm getting to the point. All right. So here's what happens. All funds come in via the federal government. These people have no money. They can't create any money. But what they can do while they're holding on to your estate, they make you sign over the rights to your funds that they get. The law is, when there are funds that they get, let's say from your mother with that birth certificate, those funds go into an account. All right. It's denoted by your all capital letter name and your social security number. They got to put the funds into a properly noted estate. They can't just take the funds and use them however they want to, no, but they can make you sign off how they're supposed to be used, and then they do whatever they want. Okay, so I got it. Y'all got it? There's a federal government in here. So what happens is, these people, they have different titles. Now, by law, they have to provide for you by law. All right, you got a social security number. These people got to provide for you by law. But the amount of provisions that you get are going to be based on the title that you accept. I'm going to say this again. The amount of provisions that you get are going to be based on the title that you accept. Now, when we're talking about Black, white, Indian, Asian, Hawaiian, those are the 5 different groups. And we talked about this. Y'all go look up the SF 181 form. I need y'all to understand, by law, again, they got to give you something. But what happens is that when you claim the title Black, you have claimed to be dead. You have claimed that you don't own anything. You have claimed to have no title to any nation or land. You have no legal standing, and therefore you can't own anything, and therefore they can treat you like the dead entity that you have claimed to be. SF 181 form. Thank you, Alexnia. Thank you so much. Tech says, thank you for sharing. By the way, y'all follow and share. Thank you, Jay and Tina, for following and sharing. So in recognizing what's going on here, all right, you have a situation now whereby you've got a corporation over here that's pretending to be the United States of America. This is not of America. So when you're talking about voting for a president and you're talking about democracy, you're talking about a corporation that has no allegiance to the United States of America whatsoever. But what they have done, they have become trustee of all our funds. Now, let me get to the real point here, and let's understand what's going on and why this is important. All right. So In recognizing this, let's go back because I need to pull up this document. Um, One of the things that we have to recognize is that HBCU, historically black, meaning no standing, colleges and universities. This is a newer term. All right. Came out right after, y'all remember that movie Drumline? It came out right after, but all of these HBCUs, um, they went in, the term came in around that time. And then when they took on this title, they did not recognize that they were taking on a copyrighted title like black, white, African American. Those are titles. And so when you call yourself that, then you fall up under a set of laws. Now, with all of that being said, the reason why they were created is because a group of beings went after funds from the federal government. All right. They went after funds from the federal government. And let's look at who these organizations were. Y'all need to pay attention. Once again, remember. All right. Once again, remember that when, and forgive me, I'm sorry, I had a call coming in. So once again, what I want you all to remember is that the federal government is the one who's providing this funds. These people can't make anything. Look at this. This is a document. Department of Commerce is applying to the federal government for funding for different groups. So it's the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. This is not federal. And the Department of Commerce. Do you understand where these people come from? If not, let me show you again. Let me show you again. They are these people over here. This is who they're with. The United States Corporation. The federal government has given them funds to take care of the so-called HBCUs. And so let's just take a look. I'm not going through this whole deal today. Let me see if I can get this thing to move down. All right, here we go. So now I want you all to take a look at, I'm just going to read this summary. This is the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. This is a federal act that came into play where these people, National Telecommunications Information Administration, as well as Department of Commerce, have come in to seek funds on behalf of, here we go. It says the CMC, which is the Consolidated Appropriations Act, which that should be misappropriations because that's exactly what they're doing. And so they call it the CMC pilot program. It's supposed to be the CAC, I would think. But what is CMC? This appropriated $285 million to the National Telecommunications and Information Administration to establish connecting minority colleges pilot program, the Connecting Minority Colleges pilot program. All right. This is what they're falling up under when they're, and please understand, this is somebody's copyrighted material whereby they've sent it into the Congress so that they can get funds on behalf of, and let's see who it's on behalf of. The CMC pilot program will provide grants to eligible historically black colleges and universities. And then they coined the phrase right here, HBCUs. This is when they coined the term. Tribal colleges or universities and minority serving institutions. All right, I want to get into, y'all, we already went over what black is. All right, we already went over this term right here. What does minority mean? Minority, for those of y'all who are not aware, what does it mean when uh, somebody is underage and they can't vote? What do they call them? They call them a minor. That's because they have no legal standing and they're considered ignorant. They're considered orphans. They're considered childish, buffoons. A minor is somebody who has no legal standing. What do you think a minority is? They want you to believe, oh, it's just a fewer in numbers. But meanwhile, you keep taking on this term minority, not recognizing that they're calling you ignorant. They're saying you have no legal standing. They're saying that you are childish. They're saying they have the right to mistreat you. All right. And, the term tribal, we'll look that up. I'm not going into that one today. I just want to get on this. These are the three: historically black colleges, tribal colleges, and minorities, MSI. When you take on any of these terms, you have put yourself up under their contract. They're going to say, oh, we're going to give you funding. Okay. But you good luck with seeing any of that when you put yourself under this title. You're under a lowered status. That's one of the things I've gone into before about how we have to learn to change our status. Well, here you go. Right here, under this status, you're up under these people here. Now, I need to say, who are these people? We're going to go into that. If I have time, I'm going to get deep into them today. But what I need you to recognize is that right here, this is a group of people that have been known to do harm to the melanated people of the Americas. And Tim says anything you sign is a contract. That's absolutely correct, Tim. Thank you for that comment. Peacock, thank you for joining. Rage, thank you for joining. Sadie, thank you all. And Leroy, the chief, thank you so much. All right, so now, and those of y'all in YouTube, hello, I love you. Thank you for joining, all right? So now, we're recognizing that who these groups are. And we also want to recognize right here that these are terms that are copyrighted. All right, this final rule describes NTIA's program scope, eligibility criteria, and general guidelines of the CMC pilot program as authorized by the Act. NTIA will subsequently publish a notice of funding opportunity on www.grants.gov that will provide more details regarding the CMC eligibility. Now, let me help y'all to understand something. When this came into play, they actually put these funds out for the colleges. All right, these funds were put out, but the colleges, at least the one college that I'm thinking about, there are two. The students never saw these funds. Why? Because there's all kind of hands involved in the funds before they even get to the students. And some of these hands are blocking the funds so hard. They are blocking the funds so hard coming into that school that it's a blatant misappropriation of funds, and somebody needs to step in and say something. The problem is somebody's got to be bold enough to step in and say, where are the funds? And that's what I do. That's what I do. I look for those people who are willing to stand. So I need to say this before I go any further, because one of the things we have to recognize and understand, okay, by law, I can show people this all day. I can show people the rules about how they're supposed to get their funds and about how funds are being misappropriated and how they have the right to take them over. But if nobody is willing to stand, then there is nothing I can do to help them. I have been in contact with a couple of different students from different schools, HBCUs, and they refuse to stand. And so one of the things that I have an issue with is understanding, there are situations where the students are being silenced, they are being mistreated, they are being stolen from, abused. You got situations where people are reporting rapes, But they won't stand up. The parents won't stand up. The students won't stand up. The staff won't stand up. Until somebody is willing to stand up, there is nobody who can help them. Nobody. So, with that being said, they don't have people like me who know true law. And I get these people that'll come at me and they'll say, well, I know, I know something about law. And it's like, well, clearly you don't know anything about law, because if you did, then you would have made sure if somebody was hitting you with a lawsuit, you would not just stay silent. You would say something. All my students know to respond, and my students know how to respond. My students know how to protect themselves. So it's one thing, there's fear, and then there's arrogance, and then there's willful ignorance. So until somebody is willing to step up and say, hey, I'm sick of this, then there's nothing I can do. But I'm going to show y'all this today. And then hopefully y'all can reach out to somebody and get them in the right frame of mind so that they can stand up and fight, because they need to change their status. If you're under an HBCU or any of these other titles, tribal colleges, or what else is this? Minority serving institutions, you're under a lowered status. Dayla says, can I be a student? Yes, you can, Dayla. Leave us a message with your number in the inbox. All right. If you can't get it there, go to UNARepublic.com and find the message down there so you can click on it so you can leave us a message, and we're going to get you enrolled. All right. So what I need y'all to recognize is that once you change your status, then they have to treat you differently. So what we're looking at, and I'm just going to scroll through this. You all can pull this down, as a matter of fact. 47. See, this is one of the federal codes right here. 47 CFR Part 302. And I need y'all to understand something. When somebody pillages federal funds, somebody's going to prison for a long, long, long time. And there are some powerful people who are involved in this that have been threatening the alumni, threatening the students, threatening the staff, and anybody else who wants to be a part of it. But Diva ain't scared. And I'm letting you all know right now, y'all take notes, because once again, I'm telling you some facts. I'm breaking some things down to you. And these are the things that get these type of channels like this, to get them taken down, because I'm giving you the facts. All right. So y'all make note. Take this down. Just in case you know somebody, if you think you're going to ever know somebody dealing with an HBCU, take this down and look it up. Because we're not educated on what's going on in true law. All right. So let me see if I can pull up this other document, because once again, we have to recognize what's really going on in this game. So this is, once again, the federal codes you'll find under HBCUs. All right. Now, this one I might have to, I don't know if you all can see that. I think my people in YouTube might not be able to see this, but give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. I'll put it in the, I'll put it in the display. 1 second. All right, there we go. So, one second. I'm still working with this thing, learning how to pull it up. I tell you what, though, I've come a long way, baby. I've come a long way with learning how to use this. So, but still learning, still learning. All right, so now let me finish pulling this up so I can make sure that you all can see it carefully. All right. You should be able, everybody should be able to see this right now. This is, again, information that we don't know because we don't know enough about law to actually go and look it up. All right, so what is this that we're looking at? All right, I'm not sure who Audrey is, but if you want, what is? All right, if you want to just send me a message and then we'll determine whether or not you're ready to talk to us on live. Let's see. 1 second, where did my window go? All right. All right, can y'all see it now? If you can see it now, give me a thumbs up in the chat. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see it now. All right, so what I want to just do here, I'm just going to briefly go through once again this document that we have found with respect to HBCUs. Once again, these are documents that you can go and look up for yourself. Go look them up. All right, I just want to make it a little bit shorter so I can get in here. Let's see. All right, so that's good as it's going to get. I'm going to let it stay, and we're going to move through it. Now, Part 608, Strengthening Historically Black Colleges and Universities Program. I need y'all to understand that this right here is somebody's copyrighted material. These are the codes that they're under. 20 USC code 1060 through and y'all can go and just type this in and you can find it. 10 USC 1060, 1063 1063C, 1068, 1068H, unless otherwise noted. And then the source comes from, now, these right here, I need y'all to see something. These are federal codes, but they're on the United States corporation side. These right here, this 58 FR 38 713, look at when it was started. July 20th, 1993. That's the source. All right, let me go through it. What is Strengthening Historically Black Colleges and University Program? The Strengthening Historically Black Colleges and University Program, hereinafter called the HBCU program, provides grants historically black colleges and universities to assist these institutions in establishing and strengthening their physical plants, academic resources, and student services that they may continue to participate in fulfilling the goal of equality of educational opportunity. All right. What institutions are to receive a grant under HBCU? They are now, again, putting you under a contract. To be eligible to receive a grant under this part, which is this contract, an institution must satisfy. So now they're telling you all of these things, like they're telling you you've got to be accredited, meaning, here you go, be accredited, be legally authorized by the state. What states are they talking about? Hold on, wait a minute. They're talking about these states right here. Hold on. Let me make sure we on the same page. They're talking about this state, these states over here. They're not talking about these, the Republic. They're talking about this, the United States Corporation. So they want you, going back to it, right here, be legally authorized by the state which it is located in. And these people, they don't know enough to go to recognize that the state that they're going to go to is state of whatever, state of this. I need to go into this while I'm talking to you all about this. There is a difference between state of Texas, for example, or state of South Carolina versus South Carolina Republic. All of these states within North America, these are countries all by themselves. This is what people don't know. What does it take to be a country? A flag, a seal, a constitution, a landmass, and a bank. All of these are banks, their own country. Every state in North America is its own country. Over here, these people, this is all on paper. This is all on paper. So when you say state of South Carolina, for example, right here, state of South Carolina, that's over here. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in because somebody not getting this. All right. See that? This right here, state of, anything is of, state of, is dealing with the democracy. Over here, dealing with British. So what happens is you go and incorporate something up under here, or you claim to be a part of this. Oh, I'm a citizen of GA. When you say that, you said you're a slave to this dead corporation. Whereas when we're talking about the Republic, that's a different status. They look the same. Georgia Republic, South Carolina Republic, Texas Republic. They are over here in the Republic. This over here, when you say state of anything, you're talking about a corporation that's owned by this dead entity, which is owned by Britain. I need y'all to understand that and get that. Getting back to it. Getting back to it. All right. So it's bad enough that they're telling you that you have to be legally authorized by the state. So then the thing is, you got to satisfy some Higher Education Act. Y'all go look it up. I won't go into that, but this is the big one right here. You must be accredited. What does accredited mean? And I need y'all to pay attention, because when you are accredited, a school that is accredited, there are specific groups or organizations and specific books that you have to use in your school. It's some other things too. They're gonna deal with the conditions of the school. They're gonna deal with this and that and that. But what their main thing is, they're gonna dictate to you what books you can read, what education you can provide. And this is why you got all these schools that are upset because, oh, they want to teach this thing about critical race theory or this history or this Black history, and the states will not allow these schools to teach that in the schools. Otherwise, they lose their accreditation. Why is this important? These people right here, over here in what's known as the United States Corporation, they are going to control the books that these schools are allowed to read. Why? How do they do that? Because they control all the book publishing companies. I need to go into this because I need y'all to recognize something. This is not about racism. This is not about disrespecting anybody. And this could get this channel totally shut down. So y'all pay attention and you go do your own research. But there are a group of people who are known throughout history to do dirty deeds and evil things to melanated people. This is not all your so-called white people or Albions. This is not all Albions that are hurtful to people, but there is a specific group that will do harm to melanated people. And I'm going to give you one example, and you just go look it up for yourself. The Tuskegee experiment, where they start giving melanated people syphilis so that they can take it home to their children, so that they can take it home to their wives. This was done by a group of Jews. Those are the ones who run the United States corporation. Those are the ones who have no allegiance to the United States of America or anything dealing with America or the land. They have no allegiance. Their desire is to hurt people, mainly melanated people, and then they get the Albions, so-called white people, to fight against melanated people, and they too ignorant to know that they just being used as puppets. Carrying on. There are other instances that you can find out. H1N1, look that up. Look up the little vaccination they have for the children that's causing all kind of autism in melanated children, where they specifically create this drug that they know targets melanin. And then you got this higher or elevated number of little melanated boys with autism. How did it jump so high like that? Well, somebody's telling you to vaccinate your child, and you have no clue, but you got all kind of people whistleblowing, trying to tell you stop letting them put that in your child. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there so that you understand this game. Getting back to it. When we're talking about accredited, all right, the whole deal is that, all right, so the whole deal when we're talking about accredited is that these corporations and organizations are going to dictate to you what books you're allowed to read, what education you're allowed to have. So when I have somebody coming at me, and I want y'all to pay attention, because this is so disgusting to me that I get people wanting to come at me and tell me about what they think they know about law, but they in the worst legal situation when my first week students know better than to do the things they're doing. Don't tell me you know law when you getting your butt kicked and you running around scared and hiding up under the bed because somebody coming at you. No, you know how to protect yourself. Listen, accredited. This is the so-called oppressor over here, and you asking them to show you how to stand above them. That is never going to happen. You cannot expect your oppressor to teach you how to free yourself. If you expect that, then you deserve what you get. Because if you're not recognizing what the term accredited means by now, it means that your oppressor is determining what information you get to have. This day and age, you got all kind of information available to you so that you can lift yourself up. But don't expect your oppressor to uplift you. So if you are going to any kind of public school, any kind of college, whether it be private or not, if it is accredited, this is how they control what everybody learns on this planet, because the vast majority, listen, 90% of the resources on this planet are controlled by these people. These people over here who have no allegiance to the United States of America at all. This is who owns it. This is who controls it. And so because we don't know that, we keep putting our education and our lives in the hands of people who once again have historically been shown to do dirty things to melanated people. Okay, let me get back on this now, because I need to go back over here. Who are these people? Who are these people right here? All right. As we talked about, these are corporations under the United States Corporation. The same people who are known to do dirty deeds to melanated people. I don't know if y'all getting this or not. I want y'all to like and share and like, and y'all better, if you can record it. I'm letting you know I'm dropping some jewels, and I'm dropping these things that get people banned, get people blocked, get people canceled, when the truth is you can go and look up every single word that I'm saying for yourself, because Diva Laree does not talk about her beliefs. Diva Laree does not talk about what she thinks. No, I only give you what the facts are. So you go look this stuff up for yourself. And then if you find something different than what I have found, let's come back and have a conversation on it, because the only thing I want to do here is correct what has gone on in history. Let me rephrase that. Reveal what's going on in history so that we can correct the future. My purpose is to reveal what has gone on in history so that we can correct the future. You cannot correct it if you keep sitting around thinking that the one who is oppressing you is the one who's going to uplift you. It does not work like that. I don't even blame them. I don't blame them. They doing what they're supposed to do. Now, when you going to wake up and do what you're supposed to do and get your knowledge up? That's what I'm here for, to help you get your knowledge up. But you got to be strong enough and bold enough. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired enough so that we can change this game. Because I can't help you unless you're willing to help yourself. Moving forward, I want to go back through this document. I want to thank all of you all for joining. All my people on YouTube. Halo. TikTok. Y'all know y'all be riding hard with a sister. Thank you, Ellison and Dayla, Lawrence, Game Face. Thank you for joining. Lord Bra. Thank you for joining. And y'all, if y'all have any comments, please put them in the inbox. If you all have any experience with this, if you know people who might want to know this information, please send it to them. Like and share in Facebook. Y'all like and share. I hope this information is finding you well. I need you to understand what is going on so that we can make a change. And then you need to recognize what you have to do, because nobody, not me, not Dee, not nobody else, can help you unless you are willing to stand for yourself. And one of the things that we show people, first of all, you got to be willing to learn how to protect yourself. When you learn how to protect yourself, then you gain another level of freedom. All right? Because you are enslaved if you are allowing yourself to be afraid of the people who are stepping on you. All right? You can't continue to allow people to step on you and then expect somebody to come running to your rescue. It doesn't work like that. All right, so now the secretary has determined that the following institution satisfies sections 322, that 2 in the box of the HEA. And once again, Higher Education Act. Y'all look that up, of 1965. Once again, this is a contract. All of these are contracts, and somebody is putting in these contracts to get funds. And when they create it, these acts become contracts. And then if you're calling yourself certain things, then you fall up under that contract. And then there are certain boards, as what we have seen, who are put into position to handle or be trustee of those funds. Well, the problem is that these boards are not for the people. They're not, especially for melanated people. They have shown that. And so because of that, you have put yourself under these titles. You've allowed these boards to come in and dictate to you how you're supposed to act, or what books you can read and what books you can't read. And then you wonder why you can't move forward, or why they continue to step on you, because you don't know law, period. You don't know law. And please don't tell me about what you heard and what you think and what you feel like. No, Dee don't talk about what you feel. What I believe doesn't matter. I'm only going to give you the facts. All right, let's go down, because I got to get out of here in a few minutes. And once again, y'all, please leave your comments. YouTube, leave your comments. I'm going to get to them. The secretary. Now, these are the different colleges. And these are the so-called HBCUs. As we scroll through them, you'll see they're listed by states. And I need to go into these HBCUs and how they came into being. All right. By law, when these people were being given federal funding for schools, some of these schools would not allow melanated people to be a part of the school. So a law came into effect. It's a federal law, and it was stated that if you're going to have a school that's funded federally, you must allow melanated people to attend, or you have to set up another school with equal facilities. Why? Because, see, the federal government is not looking at your skin color. The federal government is not looking at your skin color. But when they turn over the funds, these people who, let me point to them so you know who I'm talking about. These people right here, when they turn over the funds, if you don't know what to call yourself, these people right here are going to take advantage of you, and they're going to devour you and every dollar bill that's supposed to be coming to you because you don't know who you are. So now, the federal government said, if you are going to have these schools, these universities, you got to let melanated people in, or you need to create one for them. All right. So then they created these other organizations. And when you go and look this up, people, Diva is not making this up. The vast majority of these are run by Jews. And when I say vast majority, I'm letting you know of all these schools on this list here. Of all these schools on this list here, pay attention now, because this is what people don't know. Of all these schools on this list here, I only know one that was owned by melanated people, and that was Morris Brown, the one that was whose accreditation was taken away from them. They were raggedy too in the way that they were handling the funds. But how come, these other schools haven't been shut down yet? I'm not going to name any names, but there's a school that I visited. And when you're talking about raggedy, I don't know if it gets any more raggedy than what I saw and heard when I went down to this school. When you're talking about, the living conditions of the students, you're talking about the education, you're talking about, funding being taken away, children being abused. You're talking about even rapes on the campus that are being overlooked and not spoken about, not reported, pushed under the rug. How do you maintain accreditation when you got buildings falling down? How do you maintain an accreditation under those kind of conditions? That's because they play by the rules of whoever is running this. That's why. So when you're looking at all of these schools, again, I don't know but one that's not run by Jews. You look up certain schools, and the first thing you see is a church. Remember, I told you, and I'm going to say this again, take notes. When you're talking about a church, that goes back to Britain. Hold on. Let me show you, just so we know. Right here. Talking about churches, that goes back to here. Not over here in the Republic, but here. This is dealing with Britain. When talking about Britain, oh, that goes back to the Vatican. Talking about the Vatican, oh, that goes back to Israel. That's their triad, their triangle right there. So I'm letting you know that when you're dealing with an HBCU, there's a lot underlying that. And the vast majority of what's underlying that has nothing to do with the melanated people. And so what happens is these people get a front. They get a melanated group of people on the board, or some of them melanated, all of them are not. Then they get a melanated president to come up here and run it. But behind the scenes, you got a Methodist church over here running stuff, or you got, a Jewish organization running it, and nobody knows it because nobody has done the homework. Okay, let me continue. As if I haven't said enough already. Once again, if y'all come back and find that Diva Laree is not here, that's because I put the information out. So y'all tell somebody to tell somebody. Please, y'all write this information down. I'm going to scroll back up here once again. Thank you for liking and sharing. And I want you all to go look this up for yourself. Look up all these codes right here. 58 FR 38713. 20 USC 1060. Look it up. All right, but let me continue because I got to get out of here. Going down. All right, all of these schools are under the rulership of Jews. Melanated people not running this. If an institution identified in paragraph B of this section has merged with another institution as a result of the merger, would not otherwise qualify to receive the grant under this part, that institution may nevertheless qualify to receive a grant under this part if the institution would have qualified to receive a grant before the merger. The institution was eligible to receive the grant under special needs program in a fiscal year. For the purpose of paragraph 3 of this section, the Secretary publishes a list of the federal registered nationally recognized accredited agencies and associations. All right, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but what I want you all to do is to recognize, like when we're talking about the Department of Education, General Administration regulation, all right, this is what you want to look up, because then this tells you where you fall under with respect to what you're claiming. I need y'all to understand, these are, when it says CFR, these are codes of federal regulation. But when it says USC, those are two federal codes. But you have to also remember that the USC, even though those are federal codes, the USC is under the United States Corporation. And they're supposed to be very much in line with the CFR, but sometimes they're not. Just letting you know, all right? If you want to stay as close to what, by the way, I need y'all to understand what federal means, all right? Y'all pay attention, take notes. I know this is deep. I know it's like, man, I just want the money. Okay, I get it. Pay attention and take notes to what federal means. Okay, as I've told you all before, and y'all look this up, federal means a covenant with God. Federal means a covenant with God. This is where the people who are calling themselves federal agents, you know how they take an oath and so help me God at the end of it? All of them end with so help me God. Why is that? They're taking an oath. They're making a contract with God to protect God's property. Well, what is God's property? Well, the people. The people are God's property. And so when they take this oath, it's a very serious thing. A lot of them are ignorant today. These people who take these oaths to protect the people, your clerks, your sheriffs, your coroners, they are straight ignorant. Your general, your attorney general, all of them, they take oaths to protect God's property. And when they fail to protect God's property, or they do anything against the people, they can go to prison for a very long time. And y'all ever heard people talk about double life sentences and triple life sentences? That's real, because see, the people who play in this game, they fully recognize that this stuff is spiritual. How you gonna give somebody 3 life sentences? They don't live with 1 life, so you think, but they know full well you got more than 1 life. They know you come back. They know you don't die. I'm not going into that today. I just want y'all to understand how deep this game is and how deep it's getting, because when I put this information out, and anybody who was bold enough to step forward, y'all need to recognize a lot of folks' heads are going to roll, because these funds, these federal funds that are provided for by the people, have been pillaged. And whoever has done it, they're going to pay. All right. Let me see if I have some questions. If you go through here, you'll just see some of the things that the federal codes put into play. But you see right here, here's a USC code. These are the people with the United States Corporation who are trustees of the funds. But here is the federal government telling you what needs to go on with the funds. But you all have to read these so that you can better understand and recognize what's going on. And anytime you see an all capital letter name, it's copyrighted and trademarked. This includes that COV thing that we just went through. It's copyrighted and trademarked, and you better know that somebody's making some money off of it anytime that name comes into play. All right, I'm not going into this whole thing. This is a deeper section. This is a deeper topic rather, and I'm going to cut it up into different sections so that we can better understand and recognize what's going on. But I need y'all to know the people who are behind this game, they are in no way the same as the people who they're supposed to be providing for. As a matter of fact, they are people who have shown themselves to be starch enemy to melanated people. And once again, I'm not saying it's all Albions that do this. There's a specific group of light-skinned people who put this mess out. And what they do is they use the other light-skinned people to manipulate them into fighting with the dark-skinned people. Until we get this knowledge and we're really ready to seriously sit down and understand what's going on, then they're going to continue to rule. Do I have any questions, any comments? My people in TikTok. Hello, TikTok. Let's see what you got. Thank you, Ellison. Ellison says, true, sister. All right. Coco, thank you for joining. Dayla, thank you for the love. Make sure you all, if you're interested in joining the university, go to UNA University and send a message with your number and your name so that we can make sure we get you enrolled. Also, if you're here on TikTok and you want to enroll, send a message. Leave a message in the inbox with your name and your number. So we're going to call you and have a free consultation with you. Let's see. Does anybody have any comments? Ashkenazi, Lord Debra, yes, sir. Ashkenazi, these are the so-called Jews that we're talking about. And yes, and I'm going to say they own. I'm going to say they actually control more than 90% of the resources on the planet. They make up less than 10% of the people on the planet and control more than 90% of the resources on the planet. There's a problem with that. All right. King, Coffee, Santa, Numbermine, let's see, Dayla, Tanya, User, Lavender. Thank you so much. All right. So let me see. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see. Dayla says, and they bank off of it rather than your approved or not. All right. So yes, what happens is anything you sign is a contract, and they bank off of it whether you're approved or not. Tim said that. Tim and Dayla. So here's the deal. That's true. When you sign a contract, for example, for a vehicle, what you want to recognize is that in signing for that, you've already paid for the car. But they're going to come back and tell you that you still owe them money when, once again, the federal government has already provided the funds with your social security number. That's why they're asking you for your social. Well, as soon as they get your social, you got to understand that social security number is like a credit card number. That's exactly what it is. And so what happens is they tap into that estate and you have no clue. See, remember, they can't spend the funds at all. They can't own anything, but they can make you spend the funds. And this is why they're hitting you with things like tickets and taxes and, telling you got to pay them for certain things. They're double dipping on you. It's already been paid when they tap into your estate, but they're not going to tell you that. So if you think about it, water bill, light bill, gas bill, education, any kind of loan you get, house loan, car loan, all these people who are asking for your social, they're tapping into your estate, period and point blank. And if anybody tells you it doesn't exist, then you ask them, well, what and why they keep that? Why they need that social so bad? Yeah, because there's an estate there. Don't give them the estate and see if they actually provide you with any services. They won't, because they can't pay for it. If they're not making any money, then it don't make sense. SDB says, I have an important question about this topic. How does one go about rescinding their sign of nature? I like that, SDB. I see you study. He said sign of nature. That's beautiful. This is where you deal with trust, SDB. And this is one of the things that we teach in the school, because all contracts, especially if you created it as the creator, you have the ability to rescind any contract. All right. Especially, you got to understand, anytime you're dealing with these people, they are always dealing in fraud. They are always dealing in fraud. If you're willing to step forward and be strong enough to finish your process, then you're going to catch them. So when we're talking about any kind of car, house, any kind of bills, they're already paid. So you have to know trust and how to deal with that. All right. That's what we do in the school, SDB. You got to come into the university. I can't just tell you this in the 2 minutes that I'm ready to get out of here. And even if I could, you still have to come into the school so that you fully understand how to do that. Now, let me say something before I get out of here. Here's another thing about this information that I'm speaking on. It is very dangerous. And I don't give this information out to just any old body in the public, because I've had too many people to take the information and then use it in a negative way to harm people. And so for that, you got to come through school so that I know that your mental is right, so that I know spiritually you're right. You're righteous. All right. So I'm not just going to give this information out because people don't know how to act. They get power and they use it to hurt people. And then I'm feeling some kind of way because I helped you do it. That's not going to happen. My students have integrity. So if you want to learn this information and really get a step-by-step knowledge of how to effect and how to operate in the private, then I would love to have you in the university. If not, you can have consultations. Hit us up in the inbox. You're going to have to pay for consultations. If you want a consultation to join the university, that is free. Any other kind of consultation where you're trying to just get some money, you're going to pay. And first of all, I probably won't help you because I want to make sure you have integrity before you start operating this. Also, I need to make sure you're under trust, and you need to know how to protect yourself. Why is that important? When y'all start effecting these deals here, what happens is when you start doing things and you don't know how to protect yourself, and these agents come at you, and they talking about locking you up, and you running under your bed, and you not responding, and you're not doing what you need to do to stand up, you're going to be in jail because you signed a contract saying, okay, I'm going to go to jail. You agree. I had a client, let me tell you something. I'm going to get up out of here. I just had a client who I told him to join the school so that he'd learn how to stand. But he had a case coming up quickly, and I told him, I said, you go into court. I said, you say this and only this and nothing else. You say this and only this and nothing else. They are going to try to threaten you. They're going to make you fear for your life. You better be willing to die when you walk in there. But if you say what I tell you to say, you're going to come out there a winner. If you say what I tell you to say, you're going to come out of there a winner. He didn't do what I told him to say. He buckled. He buckled because he didn't know who he was. You must know who you are. Don't play this game if you don't know who you are. But the minute you know who you are, then they can't touch you. And they're going to treat you differently. All right. I got to get out of here because I got class. I got a meeting. And I want to say thank you all for joining. Once again, y'all go in, like and share. If you want to join the university, you can go to UNARepublic.com and enroll there. You can also go to in the inbox. My people on TikTok, go on the inbox and leave a message if you want a consultation to join the university. We'll give you a free consultation. I really do thank you all. I love you. TikTok, I love you. YouTube, I love you. Thank you for joining. I apologize if I didn't get to your questions. I'm going to get to them later. But no, I love you. I'm going to answer them. TikTok, I'm out. I love you. Peace. Bye.